同学们，大家好！欢迎你又回来，我们一起来学就 and 才。So hello everyone, welcome back. Let's study 就 and 才 together. So we continue on with 就. This is another instance where 就 has developed functions that are not shared by 才. You don't find them as counterparts to each other in this case. But you may be wondering, why do we spend so much time studying 就 and 才? Well, they are very useful. Truthfully, they're very useful. 就 is highly frequent. It's kind of like the Swiss Army knife. It has all sorts of functions. If you have it in your repertoire, it's gonna be the best tool in your toolbox. Okay, so in this section, we'll be looking at the 就 as marking single-mindedness, restrictive marking, like no other than, nothing else, or the idea of just. It carries the idea of a small amount, a limited quantity. It's only this kind of function only occurs in spoken Chinese. So if you are writing in a composition in a formal register, you don't want to use 就 for this with this particular function. A second point to bear in mind is that if you speak with 就 with this function, because it emphasizes on simplicity, single-mindedness, it may come off as willful or capricious. Like children sometimes use this expression like 就要 I just want it. What does that mean? Once you see the examples, I'll show you. It will become clear. So we are all familiar with this catchphrase of a McDonald's restaurant. So in English, it's I'm loving it. The translation in Chinese, the way they made it sound like is 我就喜欢. There are also lots of commercials with this catchphrase. 我就喜欢. So what does 就 do in this catchphrase? What does it convey? 喜欢 like it. 就喜欢 I just like it. It's so simple. There's no other reasons. There's no other emotions. I just like it. Nothing else. Because of this emphasis on simplicity, it may come off as very audacious or capricious. So it's a youthful speech style. This is another very small chunk of language sample. You see this guy riding a huge bicycle, and the caption here is 就是帅. So just handsome. No other emotion is necessary. It's just very handsome. 就是帅. So let's look at how people use it in conversation. So this guy talks about his habit, breakfast routine, and how his wife doesn't share this breakfast routine because his wife went to the UK to study and got into American Western ways of eating breakfast. So he says, 我就爱喝粥. I just love to eat porridges. 粥 porridge. 我就爱喝粥. I just love to eat porridge. 粥 porridge. 又热又好吃. It's hot. It's delicious. 我老婆. 老婆 is this informal vocabulary to refer to a wife. 我老婆 literally means old grandma. 我老婆不怎么喝粥. 不怎么 not often, not so much. 不怎么喝粥. 他就吃 he just eat 麦片跟牛奶 cereal with milk. 我就爱喝粥. 粥又热又好喝. 我老婆不怎么喝粥. 她就吃麦片跟牛奶. So 就 has this emphasis on simplicity and nothing else. Because of this idea of simplicity and emphasis and nothing else, it's very informal. So if you write as such in a composition, it doesn't fit the formal communication context. So another example of 就 to emphasize It goes like this. 人与人 So people, person and person. 与 is the formal version of conjunction. 人和人 is the spoken version. If you want to sound very formal, you can say 人与人，人与人，人与人最远的距离 the longest distance between people 最远的距离 the longest distance 距离 distance 不是生与死生 birth to be alive 与 and 死 death the longest distance between people is not being alive or and being dead. You would think that's the longest distance, being alive and being dead. 而是 but rather 你就在我面前 you 就在我面前 right in front of me 而是你就在我面前却 but 不知道 not knowing 我爱你 I love you 人与人最远的距离不是生与死而是你就在我面前却不知道我爱你 So this is a commercial made up narration about a boy falling in love with a girl. The girl doesn't know it, and the boy feels that the longest distance is you right in front of me, not knowing that I love you. The style is literary style, so you see the vocabulary choices reflecting that formal register. For example, 与 as conjunction instead of 和，人与人，生与死。And formal register word choice like 距离 or 而是不是而是 not but rather 而是 and this word 却 but all these mark formal word choices. So this is a commercial and 就 looks helps to convey the idea that 你 you are in front of me, but you're right in front of me. The emphasis, like you are nowhere else, you're just right there in front of me. Okay, so let's see. And the commercial is longer than the.
人与人最远的距离，不是生与死，而是你就在我面前，却不知道我爱你。法文的我爱你怎么讲？
Je t'aime pour la vie.
Je t'aime pour la vie.
我以后一定要去法国。我明天要去巴黎了。我会想念你的。
比赛。Je t'aime pour la vie.
你干嘛讲法文啊？
啊，你不是要去巴黎哦？
你很半点呢。
It's a very funny commercial. It plays on the similar sounds of the phrase 巴黎, Paris, and Bali, a little village, Bali, in Taiwan. So the girl's going to Bali, and the boy thought she's gonna live for Paris. Okay, so another fixed expression, very useful, pinpointing the idea of exactly, is the A 就像 B construction. So if you want to make a metaphor, simile metaphor, 就像 helps to emphasize that A is exactly like B. So the common, the very well-known metaphor, my love is like a rose. It goes like this: 爱人 my love, 就像一朵 measure word 一朵玫瑰花 rose. So my love is like a rose. 爱人就像一朵玫瑰花. 人生就像战场 ，life 人生就像 it's like 战场 battlefield. So life is like a battlefield. In both cases, 就像 helps to create a metaphor, and it carries the idea of exactly like. So if we replace 就像 with 才像，爱人才像一朵玫瑰花, it carries the idea is that, well, people have thought of other things are like rose, but that's not right. Only love is like a rose. 人生才像战场. So if you have thought of other situations are like battlefields, that's actually not right, correct. Only life is like a battlefield. So 才像 has that kind of connotation. 就是 this emphasis on exactly is has lots of fixed expressions because it's just so common, so frequently used. You see the pattern of 不是就是 So if either this or that, if it's not this, then it must be that. So example here, 现在超市里的西红柿不是太软就是太硬. So the tomatoes in supermarkets nowadays, they're either too soft or they're too hard. So either too soft or too hard. 不是太软就是太硬. 最什么什么就是. So the place I like the most is New York. How do you say it in Chinese? 我最喜欢的地方就是纽约. Apologize, there should be a 是 here. 我最喜欢的地方就是纽约. So the place I like the most is New York. 第一就是. So if you're counting things that you're gonna do, the very first thing you're gonna do, oftentimes you see that come together with 就是. 等我有钱了，第一件要做的事 the first thing I'm gonna do 就是给妈妈买一件新衣服。等我有钱了，第一件要做的事就是给妈妈买一件新衣服。So when I have money, the first thing I'm gonna do is to buy a new clothes for mom. 等我有钱了，第一件要做的事就是给妈妈买一件新衣服。A 就是 A， 我就是我 ，so I'm just me， 我就是我。So all these are fixed expressions， 不是就是 either A or B， 最就是 the most is， 第一就是 the first is，A 就是 A， 我就是我。And all these fit into the idea of 就 as marking nothing else. So the emphasis on 是. It is exactly. So we stop for now, and the next part we'll be looking at the 就 and a very useful, especially in writing, for a function for sequencing events.